Another kind of activity, a very interactive activity that you can create for your students using Schoology assessments as an activity rather than an actual testing tool is something called Highlight Image. Now, the name that they give this question type doesn't really explain what it does, but Highlight Image is, in essence, what it does is it gives the students the ability to annotate on an image that you upload. So now this can be helpful in a variety of different ways, but particularly if you want to see the students' thought process and how they work out, let's say, a math problem. Because as they annotate on top of the image you provide, it's actually recording each step that they do, so you can actually see exactly how they arrived at their answer. So let me just show you an example. So I'm in my math class here, so let's say I want to create a exit ticket for this particular unit that we're doing. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to add an assessment. So I'm going to call this my exit ticket, and I want to see how they work out a solve for X problem. So I'm just going to assign this a point value. I pick my category, and I'm just going to uncheck this. Nothing else I really need to do for this. Again, not counting this as a test. This is an activity. All right, so again, this is the setup. So they're considering this a test, but we're not using this as a test. So the only thing I'm going to change here is the ability for students to view results. And even if I'm not grading this and counting this as an actual grade, if I do leave comments, I want the students to be able to see the comments, or if I write any annotations on top of what they're doing, I want them to be able to see that. So I'm going to change that, and then I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to come over to questions so I can add the question type that I want. So this is the question type. It's called Highlight Image. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Highlight Image. It's not a very busy screen. You can see here there's not a lot of things to click on. So in the question setup is where you would type in your question, what it is you want the students to do on top of the image that you're going to be uploading. So since this is going to be, in my example, a math problem, I'm going to actually use the math tools that are available in the toolbar rather than typing. So I'm going to have them solve for x, so I'm going to type 6x plus 4 equals 34, and they're going to have to work out this problem. So then I'm going to click OK. If you need to adjust the text size, you can do that. So here's the problem. So they're going to solve for x. Now what I need to do is provide for them something that they're going to be writing on top of. And again, if you had like a PDF and it had math problems already on it, you could upload that and just have them solve it right on there. But if you really want to be able to just give them a fly-by-night kind of problem like this, what you can do is upload an image of a piece of paper. So I found an image of legal paper, and I'm actually going to include this in the course material. So if you want to use this, if you decide to do this type of activity, you can. So I found this image on Google Images. It's just a yellow legal paper blank so that the students have something to write with, or write on top of rather. And I'm going to click OK. So right now I can't see what this is actually going to look like. These are the colors, the palette of colors the students will have to choose from in order to work at that problem. So I do want to see what this looks like, but before you hit preview question, again, make sure you hit save first. If you hit preview first, you're going to lose your work. I've done it many times myself. Alright, so now that it's saved, I'm going to go back and click on it as if I'm editing it, and now I can click on preview. So you can see here, this is what it's going to look like from the student's perspective. So they'll see the problem that they have. They'll have this drop down of different different colors rather, and then they'll be able to work this problem out. And as they begin writing this, this is going to be recorded live. So you will see every actual click that the students make. So if they do this incorrectly, you'll be able to see exactly where they went wrong, so that you'll be able to then give them instruction and give them corrections on what they were doing. So this can be really, really helpful, particularly in math or any other subjects that involve math, but even social studies and other subject areas if you want to include maps and you want the students to kind of map out or coordinate, map out different points on a map. You can use this in so many different ways. So this is what this one looks like, and I'm going to cancel this just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. So now this activity is ready to go, and if you decide to do more activities like this, you can use the same image over and over again as many times as you want, depending on the question type that you're going to be using, or rather the question you're going to be using. So I hope this was helpful in figuring out how to use Highlight Image as an activity for your students in Schoology.